Hey everyone, just going to do a little video here on some clear resin from Amazon. Um, Basically what I'm doing is a concrete paw and let's be able to pick it up here, a picture of a pooch that's going to sit in one of these embedded areas. So this is indented in a little bit, so I want it to sort of be levitating into it. It's sort of experimental. It's the first time this is being done, so I'm going to see how it works out or so. The resin is a 1-to-1 resin, so I'm just going to use a couple of syringes here to get the stuff. Yeah, see, I only need a very small amount. You don't need to use syringes to do this the way I'm doing it. Just I happen to have an abundance of them. So there's 1-to-1 of those. And all I'm going to do is give it a quick stir up here. Make sure it's all fully stirred using a little cup. Might need double the amount. I'm looking at it in here, so, and I think I'm going to do that. So make sure you never get your containers mixed up with your dispenser, otherwise you will harden your entire thing of resin. Maybe slowly, but it will thicken the whole thing. So it's really important that you get them in the, if you're reusing them, you get them in the right thing. And everything I know is this one's got a blue, so I'm going blue label, blue thing, and the other one is the opposite, obviously. Simple lesson from experience with epoxies in the past. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this into the bottom of here. You know, I've got bubbles and everything in this, and I'm aware of that. And I'm just going to take it, I'm going to make it float around a little bit here, speed it up. Probably could have even used a third squeegee of it. I've got larger squeegees, or syringes, I mean, I keep calling them squeegees, sorry about that. And I just didn't feel like digging them up. So I just used those little ones. And all I'm trying to do is get the bottom area here. So there's a layer on this. Basically I'm sealing the concrete with the epoxy, or with the clear epoxy resin. Piece of paper towel from above here. Get whatever, man, you should have gloves on or so. I'm trying to be careful. I obviously failed at that. So the point I open the lids on the things. I'll put the lids back on these as they are here. And what's going to happen is I'm going to take a picture of the pooch. I just cut out a rough circle. I'm not doing anything fancy. This is just an experimental to see how it would look on the finish. And I've coated this both sides with Hodge Podge. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Better to be safe than sorry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for a little bit until it pretty much starts to set up. Get any air bubbles out. You can do that with a torch, or in this small case, that's pretty much all it takes is a little lighter. And that is taken care of. I do have a spot where it is not going down. There we go. Now basically what I want is this to harden up enough to not allow this to sink. Now this is only maybe a 64th of an inch thick, maybe a quarter of a millimeter. So I'm not too worried about the picture sinking in it. I'm going to set that in like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up quite a bit of this stuff. No, well, I say quite a bit in respect to what I've been doing for the bottom coat. I know this is by far the outtake video for being unprepared for what to say. But like I said, I'm just farting around with this one. So I'm putting 5 of each into it this time. Should be enough to cover it all. And my little stir stick. And then you want to make sure you're scraping the sides, cleaning up the bottom. Make sure you don't spill it out of the cup as you're stirring it. See if I get this on an angle so you can see what I'm doing. I'm sort of holding the cup on an angle so it brings it all to the bottom. And I scrape from the top, scrape the bottom, scrape that. And that's pretty much good to go. There's all kinds of air bubbles and that and everything at this point. It's going to disappear as it goes into here. I'll sit for a minute. And I'm going to pour it over. Now, I don't really want it to flow over top of the concrete. Not for the experimental part, at least. We'll see what I do afterwards. Let it sit for a minute. Bubbles come up. And I'll just hit it with some heat again to get the bubbles to pop and that's on the surface. Clean up the fringes, put those in the garbage. Clean up my mess. Toss this out. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I'll let that harden until tomorrow and we'll see how it turns out.